we are going to introduce you to DevOps. As per this screen, do you have any feeling when you see the screen? Have you seen this screen? I mean, this particular, uh, this inverted 8, horizontal 8. Did you ever see this? Whenever I see this particular thing, I have a feeling that, everyone is working together. It's a unique picture of conformity from availability and reliability. Everyone is joining hands with each other. Each of the phases of software development lifecycle joins to each other, and they are complementing each other to complete the life cycle. And it is not a completion of the life cycle. It's not a one loop, one iteration. It is basically, you are saying it is an iteration. Iteration. It is going on and on. And in automation, this is the basic requirement that you should not stop. There is no start point and there is no end point. Every point is a starting point. Every point is an ending point. That is that makes a process more reliable, more consistent. The consistency in automation is the atomicity, the atomicity. Something starting from here has an objective of going to here, should achieve that goal. That is atomicity. If you stop over here, then it is not an atomic process. Okay? Or if you have stopped over here, you were supposed to end over here. It did not happen. And the isolation, there are so many things like atomicity, isolation. Isolation means everyone is working with each other, but everyone is independent and isolated. No one is dependent on the other. Isn't it a unique thing? That means you as an individual, you have your identity, but as a work, you are doing a work with a joint community. That makes your project success. And I will urge you that you can mute yourself, but anytime you wanted to ask anything, you please unmute yourself, can ask me anything. Okay, don't shy away from asking any question. No question is good or bad. You can ask any sort of question, and better to clarify, because this is a mutual discussion. This is not a one-way traffic, right? That I will keep on speaking and you will just keep on listening. Ultimately, you will drop out. You will not find interest. Let us not do that. Let us jointly work together. We have definitely, because I'm not aware of your background, but software projects will go through software development life cycle. In any IT industry or any IT company that you join in your job, the basic structure is to complete a life cycle of software development. Development activity, it is software development, but actually development is not only a development team. A team involves everything, but it is saying that you want to develop a product. What is the life cycle? And in software development life cycle, which is fondly called as SDLC, is one of them. This is how nicely you can complete your project. A project will start with a project start date, and project will end with a project end date. After that, is the project over? Can you tell me? Means after you have handed over the project, everything is gone? Is it like that? Who takes over?
No,
Yeah, then what is the thing? Will it end at the project end date? Say the customer was very happy with the product and they have accepted the product, and now it is on the production. So will that be the end of the life cycle of the software development? Is it the end of SDLC? What do you think? Anyone? You can attempt your guesswork. It's a
I don't.
calculated guess. Yeah.
I don't think the project should end. It's supposed to be continuous monitoring after the complete of the project. So there should be a monitoring.
Exactly. Fantastic. Yes. Yes. A project has to have a boundary, it has to have a starting point. It has to have a ending point. But that is from the project management point of view. A project will start, a project will end. It is a finite process. But the software development lifecycle does not end there. Once you have delivered a product to the customer, now your operations team take over. You know, your development life cycle continues. Yes, your project is over. You have handed over the project to the customer. The customer is now the owner of the product. But but still, the customer will depend on you, the operations team of the vendor who has delivered the product, because it will go into the support phase, right? I think you are aware of this process. So you can think of operations team. They are now the owner of the system. They have to keep maintaining, as you said, monitoring and managing the the support cycle. That means they are in the support. Every year they keep on supporting the product of the customer, and they get a annual maintenance fees for maintaining it. Yeah, that's a different question. But what I'm saying is SDLC does not end there with the project delivery. It has gone to the production, does not mean that it is over. This should continue even after you have delivered. And the operations team will continuously monitor. If there is any issue, it will go back to the project team. And again, the developer will correct the particular bug or whatever the defect, send it over the build, send it over the test. It will release, deploy, and it will come to the production again. The customer will be checking whether the problem has been over. Now, there are so many things out of it. But the main process is to understand that whether we are learning properly, we are delivering the goods within the framework of SDLC, right? So the SDLC will consist of planning, defining, designing, building, testing, deployment. These are terms. These are process terms. Planning, where you will gather the requirements and plan the requirements of the customer. The customer does not know technically how it has to be technically delivered. Okay. So they will keep on giving the requirements in a layman's term or in a business requirement. They know the business very well than you or me, everyone. They are the business people. They will say that I have a pain point. I need to get rid of it. So please, can you help me? And they will discuss the requirements. What are the requirements? And finally, you will see that this planning phase will start. There will be lots of ideation, and then the requirements will be defined. The business requirements will be converted to a technical requirement. Technical feasibility study will happen. And then once that study is over, the defining of the technical requirements specifications are over, it will come to the designing. Designing is where that technical specification will be converted into functional specification. That means what are the functions required to deliver this requirement, to fulfill these requirements. And then the designing, the architects and the designers will give it as a blueprint to the development team. You have heard about the UML diagrams. Okay. So those diagrams will be now converted into, in simple layman's term, as codes, some languages, which will convert that into a programming language or a programming. I mean, you deliver the thing, then you are development. This is the design. You convert the design into your code. Then this code has to be given to the testing for the testing. This is a system integration testing. Before that, before you deliver it to the testing team, you must have a peer testing, a unit testing. There are tools to do that. Then you deliver it to the testing team. Testing team has their automation tool to test. It will give you lots of uh, it will it has lots of metrics on which it will test and the code delivered by the developer. And once this phase is over, that means everything is 100%, it will go for a deployment. And the deployment is either on the pre-production for the UAT to happen. Okay. UAT is the user acceptance testing. And thereafter, if user is happy with the testing, it will be planned to be deployed to the production. So now the product has come to the production, the operations team take over, and the software development lifecycle still continues because it never ends till the lifecycle of the product. Now to do that, any questions that you have, please? I'm sorry because I'm not being able to see your whether you are raising your hands. Don't worry because even if I cannot see your hands being raised, but I can hear the voice. So unmute yourself and ask any question if you had. Generally, yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I
Hello.
have a question. Thank you for giving us this introduction. So my
Okay.
question is, as a DevOps engineer, so
Yeah.
from the development life cycle, which part are we going to fall in
Very
that?
good question. I mean, an appropriate question in the right time, in the right moment. Yes, I will generally come to that question, but let me prepare that stage where I can actually address that question. So can we park that question at the right? I mean, when we come to that, we are just trying to understand where we fit in, why we are learning DevOps. Why did we come on a Saturday morning or a Saturday afternoon or evening to, is it to just discuss anything which is not of importance to me? No, it is very important. You have taken a bold decision that you wanted to change your domain. I do not know exactly what the reason is, what the motivation is. But the thing is, whatever it is, since you have come to us, we generally understand that you have taken a decision that you will be trying to learn DevOps, or at least try to understand what is DevOps, why we should be learning DevOps, what is the benefit of learning DevOps, and all these things. And how, what, as per your question, where is DevOps fitting in into this SDLC model or SDLC lifecycle, isn't it? That was the question.
Yes, you are right. Correct.
Yes, I will come to that. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, to see any engineering product, do you understand that you are trying to develop a product? So a product is a outcome of some engineering process, whether it is a software development or software engineering or a mechanical engineering or a civil engineering. It is you are delivering some product. So since we are delivering a software product, we are saying that this will have a framework or some model to follow, like any engineering, I mean, product. So therefore, there are two particular processes or delivery models for delivering your software development lifecycle. Okay, one is the waterfall model, and the other one is the agile model. Why we are discussing this? Because we wanted to understand where, why, and how DevOps fits in into this entire discussion. So we just remember there are two models, waterfall model and the agile model. By the term agile, you come to know that there is speed, agility is what is required from this model. And this waterfall model is like it has become almost a legacy system because most of the project management is nowadays is following the agile model. This has become outdated. Why? Let's see. Now you see the waterfall model approach. That was the first approach that I'm not saying it is good or bad or it is not desirable. It was the only management process to deliver a software model or the software product. And that was called a waterfall model. As a I was in IBM for a long time as a project manager. I have I didn't have say 5 years back, I didn't have any other tool other than waterfall model. I used to have Jira and all the stuff, but then after all, the model followed was waterfall model, because at that time Agile was not into the picture, so I didn't have that tool. So why did I shift over to DevOps and Agile model? Because I have seen the drawbacks of this waterfall model. Okay, why? Because you can see there is some steps coming down. It's like a waterfall coming down from the top of the tree to the lower branch, isn't it? And it's a very bold steps. You are confidently coming from one stage to the other stage, other phase. Do you see any backward steps as well? It is badly missing. Why? Because in the first place, it has an assumption that when you come out of this requirement phase, that means you are closing that phase. You should not come back to the phase any point of time as you progress. Okay. Now, when you come out of design, you have completed the design and you have an assumption that I will never have to come back to design, because what I'm doing is uh, is is final and foolproof. Also, the development has this. They will complete the development and then it will be going to the testing. The testing and the development does not work or start together. You see, it starts before testing. That is one of the drawbacks, because you give a big bang sort of development. You give it all together, big bang approach, and then give it to the testing team. Now, testing team has to test the entire product, not not modules. As they keep on development and you give it to the testing team, that is a different question, but they will not do it unless your gate, this is one gate, that exit gate is over. There will be a lot of approval. Each and every gate, when you exit and enter the other gate, there will be lots of approval processes. It's a very heavy process dependent. Now, when the development comes to the testing, they have given it, testing finds hundreds and hundreds of bugs. Now, generally, a human tendency is that what you do, I don't want to repeat the work. And I have a general human tendency that I will not accept my mistake, isn't it? That what I have done is correct. I shall not accept anyone pointing out mistakes out of my work. That is a human tendency. So there is a clash between the testing team and the development team. Testing team cannot endorse a bad product, a product which is not fitting in their testing metrics, because they have a metrics. They have drawn up a metrics from the requirements. So they understand the requirements of the customer. But what is this? The development team has given something which is not in alignment with the requirements, or there are lots of defects. So they need to give it back to the development team. But is there any backward movement? No, it has a proud forward movement. That is one of the big drawback. So anyway, even if the development team accepts, but it will take a lot of arguments and firefighting, and you are losing valuable time in the project. First of all, the requirements are frozen at this stage. So if it's a 1 year project, within 1 year, your requirements cannot change. Can you believe that 1 year project, IBM is doing a 1 year project for AT&T, let's say. And AT&T is a dynamic company. They always think of the customers. Customers' demands are changing every day, every now and then. So how can AT&T agree to have their requirements frozen for a year? That is quite, but there is no other way because that is one of the tools that you only have. Waterfall model. This waterfall model cannot be dynamic as far as requirements are concerned. You cannot in between the project change the requirement. The requirements are frozen. So ultimately, one angle is that suppose your product is good and it was after 1 year it has come to the market or in the production, but during this 1 year the customer demands or the test or the requirements of the customer has changed. So what will happen to the product? Can anybody tell me? Will the product be acceptable to the market? The market dynamics have changed in 1 year. There are many other competitors for you who has developed the better product than you because they have taken into consideration the customer requirements. They were very quick to the market, just in time. Did you hear this term? Just in time, JIT. That is a Japanese management term, just in time delivery. So when the market wants a product or something, some feature, if you are not, your system does not provide that, you cannot cater to that demand in time, then there is no the utility of that product. That is one drawback. The main drawback is there is no way back. Even if then you are doing it out of the way. It does not automatically have a smooth sailing back, right? There are lots of other things. And also, after you have done the testing, somehow it was pushed into the pre-production. Here, the customer is sitting. Customer is not going to budge with any of your whatever reasons that you give. That, okay, I need some more time, I need some more money. They are not going to spend one more day on the project, and they are not going to spend one more cent or one more rupee into that project. They are bound by the project agreement. So now IBM is doing whatever development or whatever extra work that the IBM has to do. IBM has to spend from their own pocket, or they have to cut on the profit. They wanted to have $100 profit, but after this rework and redoing of the things, because they have to pay the salary of each and every individual elements. Okay. So in that case, they found that they could only hardly make a profit of $10 out of they wanted to make a profit of the projected profit was net profit was $100, but they did a profit of $10. And even in some cases, they had to they have to face a loss of the project. They are doing a work, but they have not gained anything. Will the project be successful? So will I say the project was success? See, anything like if the project was not delivered, the product was not delivered, there is a golden triangle, the time, the quality, and the cost. If you do not, if any one of the handles of that triangle goes wrong, then you will say the project is not successful. Project is a failure. If you have delivered in time, if you have delivered within the budget, that is within the cost, but your quality of the product is not up to the expectation, I will say the project is still a failure. Now, the agile model. Why people or why corporates, why companies, why they had to shift over from waterfall model? Because almost 70% of the projects on waterfall model was failing. Out of 10 projects, 7 projects would fail. Hardly 3 projects succeeded. And even with that 3 projects, there would be some other defects. Even if the project was successfully delivered, but there would be the customer is not 100% satisfied. They will keep on coming back to the vendor for corrections. Anyway, I can go on and on with that discussion, but I will restrict myself because it is one of my favorite topics, being a project manager, but I will not do that. So why we adopted agile model? And one more thing, as somebody asked me why we are learning DevOps. So once you are forced to go into the agile model because your waterfall model is not delivering the goods, what you do, the agile model is nothing but it has given rise to DevOps. So you can say agile model cannot work with DevOps and DevOps cannot work with an agile model. They are is like you cannot say who is the mother and who is the child. You can say DevOps is the mother who has given rise to agile model, or agile model is the mother to DevOps processes. Okay. But see, the priority request, the request means the requirements. The requirements are not frozen. It will be it's very dynamic. There will be a bucket, a backlog bucket, and that backlog bucket will be always prioritized. By whom? By the business owner. So you are involving the business owner from day one of the project. Whereas in the waterfall model, till this point, you were discussing with the client. The rest, the design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance, apart from the deployment where there will be a UAT with the customer, the other, these are disjointed. There is no customer involvement. That is not good. A customer should be involved from the very day one of the project, and the customer should be there till the end of the project. That is a facility, that is a requirement that Agile provides. That the Sorry, you just give me 1 minute. Sorry. Um, what is happening is in the with the business owner having to prioritize the requirements. So he thought, or the business owner, he or she have a bucket of requirements, and they will prioritize on it and give the first five. Say, let's say they have decided that this five topmost priority, the first five of them are immediate requirement in the market. So the customers are demanding these five features. I will not go for, let's say there are 100 features. There are 100 features, and I don't want to um, deliver all the 100 features. Maybe out of the 100 features, right now, at this moment, within a month, I need first 10 features, which are highly required, which has a business value. So there is a term called uh, MBV, minimum business value. M, minimum, B, and V. So I will pick up, or the business owner will pick up all the 5 or 10 priority requirements which have an immediate business impact, and that will be a facility. So I will design that I will pick up these 10 requirements and will start having an agile release method for a month. So in this month of May, I will deliver all these 10 features. So an agile team will be formed. An agile team, I will say, like when you work with a huge team, do you think the speed of the team, it is called the velocity, the velocity of delivery of a product, will that be, the velocity will be high or low when you have a big team? That's a very short question. My question is, when you are having a big team, let's say you are working with 50 guys in your team, and whether and you are and the other project is working with 7 to 8 guys. Which team will be more agile or will be more having more velocity of delivery? Anyone? This is a question for you.
Sir, you mind, can you repeat that question one more time, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to say, you have formed a team of 7 to 8 people in a project, and the other project managers have formed a team of 50 people. Okay, with the same product. It is an experiment. Let's say proof of concept. Which team is faster to deliver? Generally, the belief is a single piece of work being done by more people will be much more agile or much more faster. So
Going to be
if
more.
with less people.
so, your answer is
With less people.
yes. That is generally a myth that the more is the number of people, the better is the work and the quicker is the delivery. No, the more is the number of the bigger is the overhead, the bigger is the problem, number of problems, and bigger is the time to deliver. Slower is the process, the progress. Whereas if you have a short team or less, I mean, your number of team members in a team is less, then what is that? There is a good coordination. There is a ownership, because you already are having less number of teams, so you cannot fall back on the other members. So there is always a tendency to own the product as if it is your project, your product. So ownership goes up, and you deliver much more faster than what a team of 50 members can deliver. Am I correct? That is the basic inherent philosophy within a project team. Agile team always should have not more than 7 to 9 people at the most. That is a standard thumb rule, and I'm not saying that this is what the industry says. Out of lots of experiments, the agile body says. So you will prioritize the required. You will only devote your attention onto the design of not the entire product of 100 features, only those 10 features. Give it to the coding. And the day the coding starts, the testing also starts, because every day you are giving some piece of work or some piece of whatever. There will be a burn down chart. Okay. Every day there will be something, some activity. There will be a stand-up call every day for 15 minutes to discuss what is the progress, what did we do yesterday, what were the problems encountered yesterday, what did we do to encounter the problem, to resolve the problems, what are the things that we are going to do today. Okay, what are the resources that you need to uh, do the things today if you need some help. So all these things you will discuss with the business owner, with the client. So things go very fast. So it is expected that the coding team or the development team will develop something on that day, and immediately they will be handing it over to the testing. So the testing and the coding and the development is hand in hand. So anything. So what is can anybody tell me why we are doing all these things? In comparison, you are failing at the very end, isn't it? In a waterfall model, you are failing at the very end.
Yes.
Whereas the agile model says that you should not fail in the end, you should fail early. Do you agree? You should not fail during in the university level. You can fail during when you are in the first standard, second standard, third standard, fourth standard, because that does not matter. You will learn at the learning phase. If you fail, that is okay. But if you are trying to deliver, release, and deployment, and if you fail during that time, then it's a big headache, because you have to again recycle. So what is the basic motto, basic motivation of an agile model is to fail early, not to fail late. So you are immediately getting a report, a feedback from the testing team that your code is working fine or your code is not working fine. It is not up to the requirement. So this feedback is very important for the coding team because the next day they can keep on working on that whatever they have do, and plus they can progress with the other part of the development. So both of these teams are, and not only the coding, they can the development team can involve the design. So there must be some flaw in the design. They can immediately rectify. So this way the cycle goes on and on and on. The feedback mechanism. It has a shorter development life cycle. It is a sprint. Scrum. Scrum. There is a a game of rugby in US. They call it football, but basically it is a rugby. In the rugby, there is a scrum. That is, in a scrum, there is a huddle, and they will huddle for the goal, and the goal is nothing but the rugby ball. Okay, so there will be a scrum master, and the process is called a sprint delivery. Sprint. Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is sprinting 100 meters and 200 meters. Does he make a run of marathon? No. So when you say you are running marathon, you are running. You are not sprinting marathon. But you cannot say I am running 100 meters. You say I'm sprinting 100 meters. It's a sprint. So here also it's a sprint. It's a short delivery life cycle. So the entire product, which will be divided into short delivery life cycles, it is the best model to fit in. And there comes the root of DevOps. The agile model has many advantages. It may have some disadvantage as well, but we are not discussing that. So therefore, as we have seen, the advent of agile will give a rise to DevOps, or the process of DevOps have given rise to agile. It's other way, the egg first or the hen first. So we are here in DevOps. Why DevOps? There are two discrete units called developers, the development team, and the others one called operations team. Okay. Within the operations team, you have the testing team, or basically the quality assurance, QA team, quality assurance. They were discrete. They did not have any meaningful relationship. In fact, they were against each other. Why? Why they are against each other? Not against, I mean, say this is the human tendency. Operations team will try to oppose any change or resist any change. Can anybody tell me why? And the developers are always into some changes. They want to push their changes into the system. Operations team always resist a change. Why? Can anybody try to guess why the operations team are they have a tendency to oppose or rather resist any change? So then why I'm asking this question, then you will come to understand why they were at loggerheads to each other. Anyone trying to attempt this? Why operations team will resist any change?
If I want to try, I think the reason is because they want to be independent. They want to perform their own functions. They don't want to be bothered with developer issue. So, and developer issue don't want to be bothered with operation issue, if that sounds right.
Yes, it is one of the important reasons. Yeah, that is definitely one good answer. Thank you for that. Um, See, as I told you earlier, operations team is the owner of the system. whatever the production system, the networking system, the production system, which is very much of importance to the customer, because the product of the customer is running on the production system. Okay. So now something is running fine. Your production system is running fine, and the operations team is maintaining that production system. Will they want this, which is running fine, gets disturbed? Because the developers, when they put in some changes, there is no guarantee that the running system, which is running perfectly fine, is going to run, because that function which has been put into production can disturb, or rather distort, the running environment. Isn't it a big headache? Because after all, the customer will get hold of the operations team, and if there is something which is they are not happy about, if the server crashes, the memory crashes, or the performance of the existing system goes down because of something that has come in new into the production system, the customer does not go looking for the developers. They will go for the operations guy, because they are the poor guys who interface with the customer. The service management will interface with the customer. Therefore, the operations team are the backbone of any organized software company. Because something going wrong in the production system, they are held responsible. So why will they take any crap from any garbage from the developers if that garbage is really going to impact the system? So generally, in the first place, they always resist. They will not resist in the true sense of the term, but they will try to put hurdles and find out that I will not going to accept anything which is not 100% foolproof. You have to ensure that you are not giving me anything which can disturb this operating system, this operational system. So they will not accept the testing team, because testing team is part of the operations team. They will not accept or allow the testing team to just give in to the tantrums of the developers. Developers are always like, they are the, the blue-eyed boys of the company, because they project themselves as if they know everything of the business, but they are not business people. They don't understand business. They are very good in development. They are very good in coding, but that does not mean they understand business. I will say an operation guy is more understandable of the business than the developers do. So developers throw a lot of tantrums to justify that they are correct, whereas the testing team is not correct. Or the testing team is trying to just pick up a fight with them, because developers get a lot of money and the testing teams does not get that much of money. Not that, I'm just joking. But it is a true fact in real life. I have seen there is a lot of ego clash between the developers and the operations. They won't accept their mistakes, and operations team won't accept their mistakes. Right? So a developer's job is to develop applications, pass his code to the operations team. That is fine. The operations team job is to test the code, provide feedback to the developers in case of bugs. If all goes well, the operations team uploads the code to build servers. That is fine. The developers are happy to forward whatever they develop to the operations team. The operations team, when tried to run the code on their system, it did not run. Now, they were very happy that everything will run, because they have tuned their development environment such that their code can run smoothly. But that environment is the development environment. And when they put it into pre-production or testing environment, that environment is not only going to test for their product. There are hundreds of other products they are testing. So the testing environment or the pre-production environment is not bound to be the same. A software which was running perfectly fine within the development environment fails miserably on a testing environment. So do you think the operations team is going to accept that? No, never. Therefore, they will give a feedback to the development team that, oh, see, you have given me something which is not at all working. Please do something about it, and I will not accept any of your excuses. Yes, Mahesh.
Sir, I have a doubt. Like, if developer written the code and operational teams like DevOps engineer, he run his application, the entire like security checks and everything he run, everything is
Okay.
good. When he try to deploy the application in the production, if it
Yes.
is failed, then who is responsible for that? Like a DevOps engineer or else a developer?
The entire team. Now that is the mindset, right? You were pointing out a particular team, but my dear friend, in a DevOps, the horizontal 8 suggests that it is the responsibility of the entire team. You cannot point fingers to developers only, or the operations guys only, and the testing guys and the DevOps guys. That is an old mindset. We are trying to step into DevOps to change that mindset. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, yes.
It is the ownership of the entire team. If something is not running on production or pre-production, that is the ownership of the each and every individual members of the team. That is one paradigm shift of your thinking process, of how a company thinks about a software development lifecycle. That is changing. That's why DevOps is so popular, and it is fitting into that system. That I should not waste my time. Who is responsible? Who is the culprit? No, that will not solve your problem. Customers do not understand, oh, who is the culprit, and customer has nothing to do with that. Customer means business. They have given you a time, they have given you a budget. You have to deliver the product within the time, within the quality, expected quality, and the cost. If something goes here and there, they will catch hold of the entire team, entire IBM or Accenture or whatever, whoever is delivering the product will be responsible. Not a poor developer or a poor testing guy is responsible. That is, so you cannot say it is not my fault. It is not your fault, my dear friend, but you have to see that this is not working in operations or in the pre-production or the testing environment. So you have to do something about it. Take your help of the DevOps guys, ask them to deploy it correctly, or something, containerize the application, giving an environment free. So it does not depend on the testing environment. It does not depend on the pre-production environment. You must package it in some way that it is foolproof. I'd given you a term called isolation. Your environment should be isolated from the existing environment such that your code can be run into your isolated environment. It will not impact the other environments. Am I correct? So here fits in DevOps. Why DevOps? This ongoing fight between the developers and the operations team will lead to a lot of back and forth. And back and forth means it is coming here, going back, coming here, going back, or going back, coming here. So this kills a lot of time of the project without any fruitful effect. So it has impacted the efficiency of the project or the product. This firefighting goes on. You step in, you as a DevOps engineer. See, the moment you start using your processes, so DevOps is a process, and DevOps is itself not a tool, but the entire DevOps process is constituted of so many tools in various phases. Now, when you present some output or result back to the developers, the moment it has come from the tool, can a developer, even he is a 16 years experienced developer, will the developer be able to challenge that output? So if the testing team has given a report out of Selenium, a testing automation testing tool, or the J unit, and that report says that there are quite a number of bugs, and these are the bugs. Will the developer in that case be able to dispute it? What do you think? No, because it's an artifact. This artifact cannot say something which is wrong. And because this artifact is visible to all the elements of the organization, like your managers, project manager, the service manager, the testing manager, everyone is having a look at this artifact. So how will the developer say that this artifact is wrong? No. So the developer is now coming in terms with that paradigm that no, I cannot work in silos. I cannot work separately. I have to work as a team. My operations friend is also my friend in this project. I have to come to some terms of agreement with them. I have to work within this framework. So here is the DevOps guy. Here is the development, dev ops. You are the DevOps guy. You have bridged the gap between the developers and the operations. Did it solve the problem? You have given them an automation pipeline, automation CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment pipeline, through which the developer just puts in the code. Ultimately the building of the code, the testing of the code, release, everything will happen in the pipeline. And automatically a report, a feedback will come back to the developers. They can keep on working. Again, they will put in something into the build, or rather into the stream, in the pipeline, whether it's in the GitHub or it is in the GitLab, doesn't matter. So the developers will put their code and the pipeline will take place, will take in and follow the process. This is DevOps. This is Agile. It speeds up the speed of the project delivery or the product delivery. Any questions? So that is understood. There is a lot of definition of DevOps. The word DevOps is a combination of two words, development and operations. DevOps helps to increase an organization's speed to deliver applications. So why not an organization will look for someone who knows the DevOps tools? Because they would like to go for automation. They would like to go for building up, speed up the delivery process, which was taking, say, to deliver a process, it would take a month. Now it is taking not even 2 hours. So they are saving a lot of time. And when you save a lot of time, you can give more time to look into your business, other aspects. Okay, the quality of the business goes up because you are not spending your much needed time on to these aspects of delivery. When the delivery is streamlined, you can give more importance to other aspects of the business. And when you do that, you have saved a lot of time, you have saved a lot of money. And time is money, you know. So Amazon has given a very good term. It is saying that DevOps is a methodology and a mindset. As just before this discussion of mindset, I was saying that there is a mindset, the paradigm shift, and DevOps has brought that culture. DevOps is not a tool itself. There many people have this misconception that DevOps is a tool. No, DevOps is not a tool. It is just like the OOPS. You have heard terms OOPS, object orientation programming. Everything yes, OOPS. So OOPS is not a tool or not a programming language as such. It's not a function. It is not a macro, or it is not a lambda. It is a concept that you view everything as an object and you do object-oriented programming. Okay, polymorphism, encapsulation. All these things are very important aspects of when you try to do some object-oriented thinking. So it is not, similarly, DevOps is a methodology, it's a mindset. And it is not coming from me, it is per Amazon. So you have understood in this discussion, and I also, one thing is that I will request everyone to go into our site, because you have an access to our site, and go all this PPT, whatever the contents of this PPT will be available into each of the weekend programs. I mean the sessions. So let's say you have attended this session, tomorrow you go there and you will see that whatever we have taught over there with the recording, not tomorrow, maybe the recording takes a day or two to be there, but at least you will get the contents. So go through the contents, you will see that DevOps has its impact on development, testing, integration, deployment, monitoring. There are the 6 principles. If you can deliver these 6 principles, you have delivered DevOps. Why? Because DevOps will deal with customer-centric actions. DevOps is to deal with end-to-end responsibility. It is, if you want a continuous improvement, you adopt DevOps. If you want to automate everything, you adopt DevOps. If you want to work as a one team, not in silos, you adopt DevOps. If you want to monitor and test everything, okay, with automation, you can adopt DevOps. So if you have ticked, you have given a tick to each of these parameters, then you are a DevOps company. That means a company has adopted DevOps. There are many other reasons why a company or an organization goes for DevOps, is because I would like to be predictable. So the failure rate is very, very low. It is almost reaching 0. So it is predictable. Reproducibility. You can reproduce at in no time. That means very fast. It is maintainable, and it is just in time to market. You can put something quickly into the market. Cost efficiency, because you are working with a small team, and because you are working with quick engagement with the business owners. So you can always keep on in consultation with the business owners. You can deliver a product which is cost efficient, but it is very much efficient in its performance. That is, everything what you are doing is up to the liking of the top management of any company. That's why they like to go for adopting DevOps. If you compare traditional IT versus DevOps, I'm not getting any questions. I mean to say that you are not sleeping. Are you sleeping? Am I boring?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, no, no,
Okay, no,
no,
I'm just
no,
joking.
no.
I'm
No, we
just joking.
enjoying it.
Okay. So traditional IT, DevOps, there are lots of differences. It is very less. I have picked up the highlight points so that it is more easily comprehensible. Less productive, whereas it is more productive. Skill-centric team. You need to have a specific skill to be fit into traditional IT model, whereas team is divided into specialized silos. That means you will have a mixture of so many experts in your one single team. You do not need to be an expert, a jack of all trade and master of maybe none. You just need to know your work. You fit in, because it is not necessary that one team member needs to know each and everything. But if you do, you are an asset to a DevOps team. That's why a DevOps guy is ideally a person who knows cloud, who knows Linux, who knows the tools like Git, Docker, Ansible, Terraform, GitLab, Kubernetes. Now, I'm saying of this, these are the DevOps tools, but he does not need to know lots of things of development, lots of things of testing, lots of things of operations, but he needs to just know a few of the tools quite well such that he can be a very much go-to guy in an organization. Because with the knowledge of those tools, you can just be a part of a very efficient team and you can be a leader of that team. And we have produced many such leaders in our 4 years of experience of our training with DevOps. We have produced so many guys, and I'm very proud to announce that many people have come to us who didn't have much of the knowledge, leave us aside IT knowledge, but even they were not very convenient with operating their own system, the computer. We had, but now they are reaping the benefit of knowledge that has been given in a practical way. They were made into rigorous hands-on. We kept on pressurizing them and kept on doing them, and they were producing wonderful results. And now they are reaping the benefit of that particular knowledge path, and they are now in very good companies, and many of them are leaders in their own field of DevOps. You see, in your waterfall model or basically traditional IT, you most of the time you invest in planning. Project manager becomes very important in a waterfall model of delivery. But in your agile model, there is no project manager. That is one. You may be shocked, or you may be surprised, or you may be very happy that there is no project manager. There is, of course, one Scrum Master who is also called a what? A servant leader. He is just a servant. He is serving you. He is not dictating terms like the project manager. I was a project manager, so I know the pain points that I thought I should not dictate terms, but the role itself is like you have to. Whereas when I started using Agile, I found a lot of difference. My quality of delivery increased by leaps and bounds. Smaller and frequent releases lead to easy scheduling and less time in planning. That makes you more efficient in delivering. Difficult to achieve the target or goal. Yes. 70% of the projects do not reach the goal. It fails. Whereas small and frequent releases with continuous feedback makes achieving targets easy because you fail early. Here you fail in the very end. And when you fail, there is no way you can go back. Whereas when you fail early, there is hundreds of ways you can go back and correct the things. Now, can you see the screen? I'm just going on one way side, so I'm not knowing that you're
Absolutely.
following.
You can see.
Yes. It is said that if you are considered a champion in DevOps, then you need to learn almost 20 DevOps tools. We beg to differ. Our market, there are many people in our marketing department. They survey the market. They go to the customers. They discuss the customer needs, and they found out, and that's how we designed our course, the main course, which is 75 hours, out of which it is only 30% of theory and the rest 70% is hands-on. And we found out that there are few tools. It is not possible, humanly possible, to learn 20 tools. And I'm not joking, because each of the tools are quite vast. So if you end up learning 5 to 6 tools, there is a guaranteed job in the market. So you do not need to learn 20 tools and you are not learning any of the tools that good. So it is better to learn 5 or 6 tools, DevOps tools, and be available to get a job. But learn it very well with us. We will take a journey with those 5 or 6 tools, and we will learn in depth such that when it comes to the interview, see, in an interview, they will not consider what is your, experience is good, always good. But more than experience, when they interact with you, they will try to understand whether you know the subject, whether you had 5 years of experience, but when they are asking you the questions, you are not being able to answer. Is it good? Or you had 1 year experience, 1.5 years experience of doing a project with us, a capstone project, whereas you had answered almost all of the questions quite nicely. Which is better? You had a lot of certificates. You are a AWS certified. You had a certificate of AWS. You had a certificate of Linux. You had so many other certificates. But they are asking you, and more certificates you have, you will definitely proudly disclose that fact, and they will be laughing in the back end. Okay, they will say, okay, fine, I have got a guy. Let us ask him, because he has produced so many certificates. Let us see how depth his knowledge is. And now starts the most difficult part of the interview. And we have seen a person who does not have any certificates, but he has attended all the questions nicely, honestly, without faking any answer, honestly attempting each and every one successfully. That person is getting a job. Because any person without knowing the subject fully well, I can easily get a certificate. Okay, because I will do the study in a particular scientific manner, such that I will go through some mock exams, this and that. But is it practically going to help you in the job? I can pass a certificate. I can get a certificate by studying in a very methodical way. But actually, I have not gained a lot of knowledge in the practical sense of the term. When I go to a job, when I try to do hands-on, I fail miserably. I have a certificate. So US interviewers do not give importance to your certificates. Please remember this. So whatever we will learn perfectly well. Good. Maybe we have not learned 20 tools, not needed. We have learned 6 tools, that's okay. And we have learned the 6 tools in the best way possible. So out of them, we are going to learn infrastructure as code tools like Terraform. We will learn a build tool, maybe Maven.
I think Mr. Devashish, Mahesh has one question. He raised his hand for a little long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that hand, but okay, I could not see it repeatedly.
Yeah. That's the reason Mahesh, do you have any question?
Sorry, Kalkey. It's by mistake it happened. I raised it long time.
Oh, okay.
I asked the question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
No
yeah. No issue. So build tool like Maven or Gradle or whatever it is. The version control tool, the Git, we will learn that. The container management tool like Docker, it's a very popular tool. When we will learn Kubernetes, it's a container management tool or orchestration tool is Kubernetes. We will learn Kubernetes. In that case, we will learn Vagrant as well. Okay. So then there is your deployment automation. That is, you are learning a CI/CD pipeline. Earlier days means 3 or 4 batches back, we used to teach Jenkins. But the feedback generally coming from the market that Jenkins is nowadays getting less popular in comparison to GitLab. So we have introduced for the last 3 or 4 batches GitLab. because we wanted to be in the updated form of the industry. That means industry is asking for GitLab and you have learned Jenkins. So in the interview, they may ask about GitLab, whereas you have learned Jenkins. So gradually we have gone over to GitLab. But that does it mean what we have done? Any new subject or any new topic that we will introduce for our students, what happens to our old students who have learned Jenkins? No, we have not left them. We have remembered them. What we did, we had several master classes on GitLab. We have invited all of those old students of us to join that. And now they know Jenkins as well as GitLab. Isn't it good?
Yes.
Yes. That is how
So
we
is it
do.
same as Jenkins or else it is different? Like is the concept same as Jenkins,
Concept
GitLab?
exactly the same. Exactly. It's a CI/CD deployment pipeline, but GitLab is not only a CI/CD pipeline. We will have a GitLab session in our weekend this cycle. You will understand, but I will just give you a hint. GitLab is not only a CI/CD pipeline like Jenkins, it is much more. That's why it is getting so popularity.
Okay.
Then in the configuration management, you will have Ansible. We will learn about Ansible. We are not going to learn Chef because comparison to Chef nowadays, Chef is going out of the market. Whereas you will see a lot of advertisements or job requirements for people who knows Ansible. We will learn Ansible. So what? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost seven tools we have learned. What else do you want? Now, we have almost another half an hour. Let us try to find whether we can cover it. So I will quickly go through
So,
this.
Mr. Devashish, before we
Yeah.
move for the next stage, can we take like a 5 minutes break and check if everyone's are on the same page and if they
Yes.
have any question or doubt so far now, and
Yes.
if they
Yes.
want to share their experience, their day to day.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not? Shall I make my video off?
You can as per your wish. So, please, guys. So, as it is a discussion round, discussion session, so please share your experience. If you have any doubt or questions so far, as Mr. Devashish mentioned, uh, and you can also share your uh, activities in the job market, or if you face or if you have a different opinion, please go ahead, unmute yourself and speak loudly.
Yeah, I have one
Hello, sorry.
question. Yeah,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So actually, in the DevOps, so there is so many scripts, right? So we need to learn coding as well.
Scripting and coding is not same. Now in the DevOps, you may face scenario where you need to write some script, maybe Groovy, Python, Shell, Bash. Now in DevOps, most popular there are two script. One is Python, second is Shell scripting. But yeah, you'll find some project you may require Groovy or Rust script as well. But you don't need to know all of at least if you have a one scripting language experience, is good. You are have a more than enough knowledge to compete in the market. But you will face multiple projects where you don't need other scripting experience at all, because they are in that project maybe they are using dashboard or portal instead of CLI. Now, one more thing, the students do have a understanding that Python scripting and Python coding is two different things. So, scripting is much more simpler and much more easy to learn than coding. Mr. Devashish has can give the more clarification on this point, but this is a very, very, very good question.
Very good question. Yes, I also agree. Priti, it's a very good question. Thank you for that. There is a
Okay, then
lot of
one more thing.
yeah.
Actually, if we come to IAC, like that cloud formation, right? So in that also we need to make the script, or we can get it from Google, or we can make some changes there. Actually, I have that question only. In Ansible also we need, there is so many scripts, right? Like in Kubernetes also
Yes.
there are so many scripts. So how we will learn
Yeah, Priti.
easily? That is the
Priti,
thing.
let me answer your question. You are talking about the scripts, but when you
Yes.
come to learn them in the proper way, because Ansible, Terraform, these are, infrastructure as a code. These are declarative scripts. Declarative scripts are like what you desire, you write them. It is not a programming language. Okay, each of those tools that we are going to learn, like Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, Docker, they have their own way of writing their own scripts. You can say it is not their Python scripts or Groovy script or this thing. The Python, Groovy, or the shell script will come into play when you are developing a pipeline script. In a pipeline script, you will employ either Groovy or Python or shell or bash script. Okay. But for
Okay.
individual tools like Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, Docker, uh, there you will see that each individual tool will have their own way of declaring. Declaring means you are trying to project your desire, what you want, what is important, then how. When you say how, then you write a program, a Java program or a C++ program. But when you say what, you write a script, whether it's an Ansible script or a Terraform script, that is called a declarative. The one that you are saying is a imperative, procedural. That is a procedural language, whereas this is the declarative language of doing. We will understand each and every aspect, and there will be so many your hands-on that actually you will get a mastery over the subjects.
Okay. So if we are doing in live means we can get it more exposure. You are saying instead of having doubt. You are saying, right?
Yes, yes. You will understand that your Terraform script will differ from your Ansible script. Your Ansible script will differ from your Kubernetes script. Each of those tools have their own way of scripting, but that is very simple. It's very simple to learn because they are only declarative scripts. It is not a programming language. So many people are afraid because they do not have a programming. If you have a logical bent of mind, if you have an analytical mind, so those declarative scripts are nothing. It is like
Okay.
learning the ABC. When you start learning a language, what you do? You learn the alphabets. It is like that. It
Okay,
is
got
the
it.
declarative scripts are alphabets, and the language is the programming language. I am not going for the language. I'm going for the alphabets.
Okay, fine.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
So,
And
but
In
don't
in
be
my
real
afraid.
time,
As we were telling that there were many non-IT guys that we have been dealing with, and they are now doing fantastic, wonderful. Leave aside declarative or programming language. You didn't have a knowledge of basic knowledge of binary or computing, any knowledge of computing. So it depends on how you are mentored and guided through the tools.
okay. So in real time, we have to make that script, right, to do the project.
Yeah, in our main course we have a capstone project, and capstone project is a bit complicated project. I will guide, but then you will see how you integrate all the tools together into a pipeline, automation pipeline.
So are we do after completed this all the trainings?
Which one?
Capstone project you are saying, right?
Yeah, capstone project is part of our main course.
Okay, okay.
This is again, this is what Mr. Menon had told you initially, beginning of the session, that we are actually trying to build up a flavor. That means you need to see, if you want to have a dinner, you must be hungry. Otherwise, how will you enjoy the dinner or the lunch?
No.
Can you enjoy the food if you are not hungry? So that is what we are trying to build up, that hunger. Then only we'll understand that, okay, this will benefit me. I have that hunger. I have that hunger. I want to. I have a drive. So it is my cup of tea. If
Here,
I do not, yeah.
here, I would like to one more thing. See, if you are part of our WhatsApp group, or if you have ever visited our website, we have 4 different free internship, and all of those are in 4 different domain: DevOps, cybersecurity, AI, and data analytics. AI and data science and data analytics. So 4 different domain. Now, why we are having 4 different free internship in different time? Because now someone who are very new in the IT market, or someone who wants to switch but they have no idea, because when you are trying to join the IT industry, you are guided by somebody, some of your friends or some of your cousins or some of your unknown mentor. But how about if we can showcase that if you are going to join and pursue your career as a DevOps engineer, how will be your day-to-day activity? Now you can join and continue with us for 8 weeks freely, and you'll have an idea what will be your day-to-day activity, what kind of project you are going to face, or what is the difficulty metrics, how stiff the learning curve is. You can same time you can join like tomorrow. Same time we do have a separate internship program for AI and data science, one of the most booming uh, industry and very new, better to say newborn technology. So in the US, AI market is very new and is very is just busted. So and more company are trying to hire, but in the market there is no people with a real ML or machine learning or predictive analytics skill set. But when you join, you'll find the market demand is very high, everything is very high, but the learning curve is not that much easier. And as is the market learning curve is not, it's not that much easy, there's a reason company are offering a huge number of benefits, as well as the salary range is very high. So once one student is attending our DevOps internship program, cybersecurity internship program, AI and data analytics, he will find the difference between all these domains, and then he can choose right which one is he should choose as per his IQ level and demand, or his needs. But are you going to be a master with this 4 week or 4 weekend session training? No, we are not wizard, right? We cannot inject the whole information within a 4 weekend. No one can. For that, we will provide, we will guide, we will teach. At the same time, you will also need to practice. So one thing is very clear, and need to make it very clear that until unless you are making your hands dirty with rigorous practice, you cannot be a master in any domain. Now, most students, they don't know how to do the practice. They don't have that kind of facilities. They don't have the mentor. They don't have the labs. They don't have the materials. We'll provide that. But the intention and the tenacity, they need to bring, right?
Yeah, yes.
Mahesh, did you have any question, or
Yeah, yeah.
we should?
I
Yeah,
have a
please go
question,
ahead.
sir. Like as of now, I can see like site reliability engineer, like how it is different from DevOps engineer. Like,
A very good question. And actually, we are planning to start one more training, domain training, job ready training, as well as internship program in maybe next month or 15, 20 days differ. Because this thing is again getting more attention and attraction in IT job market. Mr. Devashish, would you like to add, go for this question, or should I?
Yeah, you can. You can. Site reliability engineering is coming up, but we will discuss that surely
Yeah.
during the
Yes.
course
So,
of all these weeks.
site reliable engineer is DevOps. Once you once DevOps, normally company follow when they are developing some new projects, and there are some continuous development, testing, and deployment is going on. Now, once the product is live, okay, now they also need to maintain the monitoring part. Now, this is called site reliable engineer. So it is a part of DevOps, or the new phase of DevOps, where and this new project, that this new domain started when some company already implemented DevOps on their infrastructure. They have successfully deployed their product on server or in the market. Now they also need to create a separate pipeline by which they can automatically maintain the quality of that product. They can check the log automatically, and if there is any drawback or any downtime, that pipeline should be fixed and deployed at the same time. So there should not be any downtime. So this site SRE position will grow, and eventually it will be a parallel segment of DevOps, because that time
Okay.
there will not be any manual testing position. Everything this manual testing position will be converted into in between some of where in DevOps and SRE. Am I
Yeah,
right,
like
Mr. Devashish, or would you like to add something?
No, no, it's okay. Yeah, it is very important.
Yeah.
like what tools exactly the site reliability engineer do? Like monitoring tools, like what will be the
Monitoring tools come along with the the log analysis. You have the log stash, you elastic search.
yeah.
Okay, so the entire elastic repository, that is the stack, elastic stack, that is what is important. Then there is the Kibana, there could be Grafana or Prometheus as a monitoring tool, or Nagios as a monitoring tool. All this will come as a suite of products within the SRE domain. But don't worry about this thing unless and until you go and develop yourself as a DevOps engineer. Thereafter, you will be graduating into a role of SRE.
Okay, sir.
Now, one thing you need to be fundamentally clear: to become a SRE, you first need to be a DevOps engineer,
Of
because
course.
SRE is like a advanced format of DevOps.
Okay, sir. Got it.
And like 1 or 2 years before this, Grafana, Prometheus, this all like there are no separate name. It is also the single name DevOps. Now it has become more and more popular, so they create a separate job role for SRE, especially focus on this in this particular tool set. Now, when you are going to join as this SRE position, first of all, you should have a holistic overview of DevOps, and you should have the mastery on that particular tool sets. Okay, I think so am I? Your doubt is clear, right, Mahesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it, sir. Right.
Okay, thank you. Now, sorry, Mr. Devashish, for the interruption. Please, we do have like a very less time. We can you continue?
Yeah, I can. So let me again show my face, and we can go to our The sharing is on, I think. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So as we have discussed, your plan, code, build, test, each of these deploy, operate, and monitor. These are the various phases of SDLC. Okay, and each of these phases you will have certain tools, and these are called DevOps tools, like the Git. For planning and coding, you can use Git, Jira, or Jira. I will not use because I am not a project manager. I'm a DevOps engineer. So, and the good news is when you learn GitLab has Jira itself. I mean, GitLab has all the features what Jira has. So we generally do not need to learn Jira separately. So we will know what is Git. Then there is for the build phase, you have the Maven or the Gradle or the Ant. So out of which we will learn Maven. In the testing, of course, we are not going to learn the JUnit and the Selenium because generally a DevOps engineer will know about the testing tool, but they will not be having a detailed overview or detailed knowledge on Selenium because this particular one tool, which is a domain for the testing team. Then can you see this violet and the yellow arrows? They are running between the various phases. These are called pipelines. So when you say you are using the CI/CD, which is continuous integration and continuous delivery and development pipeline, the deployment pipelines, these are the pipelines, and you can implement those pipelines through GitLab. Jenkins was earlier. We are going to learn GitLab. Okay, this is the integration tool. Then we come to deploy. How do you deploy your application, the code that the developers have put into your GitHub? Okay, how do you the build that you have done? So you put that build into a container for deploying with an environment, and that is through Docker. So we will learn Docker. Vagrant will come already when we learn about Kubernetes. Now in the operate phase, you have Terraform, you have Ansible, and also you have Kubernetes. I have not given that picture, but you have another tool called Kubernetes. This monitoring, like your testing, is one part of entirely exclusively for the testers. Monitoring is exclusively for the, can you tell me whom? For whom? Something you must keep for the operations team and the testing team and the development team. Everything is a tool, and then you can use them tool. So you can also learn, but actually this monitoring is an activity done from the operations team. After the project has been delivered or deployed, it has come to the production, then you can have Nagios or a Splunk, or can you see that ELK stack? Somebody was asking about your SRE.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
SRE,
I can see.
yes. So that ELK stack is that stack I was talking about, that log, your Elastic log stash and Elastic log search, Elasticsearch. So the Splunk is a monitoring tool. You will also in that SRE, you will also learn about Kibana, where you will present whatever your findings, whatever your analysis on the logs that you have searched onto a presentation or onto a dashboard for better monitoring activity. Splunk is very costly, but anyway, that's a very good monitoring tool. Nagios is also a very good monitoring tool. Now, this is continuous integration. This is continuous development, continuous testing. You see, plan and coding is development. Build and test is continuous testing. Deploy and operate is continuous deployment. And operate and monitor is continuous monitoring. So everything is continuous. And this is continuous integration. You keep on integrating all the tools through a pipeline. and keep on deploying and delivering. So CI/CD. Here you have what is the general workflow of DevOps? You have a developer. The developer will put on the development. The source code will be kept in the version control system, which is a GitHub. Okay. Or maybe we are replaced GitHub with GitLab. That is also fine. Anyway, so developers are putting their codes into for storing into GitHub or GitLab for a continuous development. So continuous development activities is happening and getting stored in a version control system. Then that pipeline will take it to the continuous integration between the various tools. Here we have tools like your Docker, Terraform, Ansible, which will be integrated and put in whatever the actions, the tasks are put it into the pipeline, and it will be continuously deployed, maybe on a testing server. So your code has passed all these stages and has been packaged into a container and been delivered with its own isolated environment into the testing server. So there will be testing team will be testing it. You may be here, there is a developer in India and there is a testing server in Ohio in US. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible only because you have Agile and you have DevOps. Earlier days, it was not possible. You had to be co-located. That means this developer would be flying to Ohio to be on site and then working with the testing team and on the test environment. So the development environment will also be in Ohio because that was co-located. Now you do not have to fly down. You save your company's money. That is one of the objectives of using DevOps. You sit there, some corner of India, and do a development work somewhere in US, and through the continuous pipeline, your delivery will be available to your testing team in Ohio. And there will be a continuous testing, continuous feedback mechanism, because what is the motto of Agile? The motto is to fail early. So the feedback mechanism will tell you whether your code was correctly built and tested, or else there was something else. So again, you have to rectify it, put it into the version control. Again, the cycle continues. This will continue again and again. Once you have developed a foolproof system, the testing team has approved, 100% done, then you can deploy it to your pre-production. Again, the pipeline will be there and it will be deployed through your pipeline script. Somebody was asking about the script, Piti. So that script will that is the deployment, the pipeline script will take it to the pre-production. In the pre-production, there will be again a set of testing done by the customers themselves. That is called the UAT. And if the UAT is happy, the customer is happy with the product, then it will be deployed again through the pipeline into the production. So there can be lots of deployment technology, like there can be a blue-green deployment on the production. That is, on the production itself, you will do a rolling update and a rolling rollback. So all these things can be possible when you start learning those tools. One of the tools enabling that blue-green deployment is Kubernetes. Okay. So these are the continuous development. That is, you will be, as a developer, you will be putting your activity on the Git. So the Git is the tool. From a DevOps point of view, you will have to learn the Git. Then for the continuous integration, you have it deals with integrating the different stages of the DevOps lifecycle. So what is the tool that you are going to use over here? Continuous integration. You will use either Jenkins or your GitLab. We are going to use GitLab for continuous integration. Continuous deployment. Okay, next slide. Continuous deployment. Okay,
Kubernetes.
Yes. You either use Kubernetes or you can use, if you are not using any cluster mechanism or deployment or orchestration, you can go for Docker sort of deployment. Continuous testing you will do with Selenium. Continuous monitoring you will do. So everything is continuous development, integration, deployment, testing, and monitoring. With Nagios or Splunk or ELK or Prometheus, what are the various tools. So here you will be learning Kubernetes, GitLab. So see, out of 20 plus tools, did we narrow down our list of tools that we need to learn to be able to get a job in the market? Yes, we have narrowed down. What are the things? Kubernetes, GitLab, Nagios, Puppet is not, we are not learning Nagios and Puppet. That these will be included in our SRE course. Somebody was asking about SRE. So that will be part of that SRE course. In this DevOps, we will learn Terraform, Git, Docker, Ansible, GitLab, Kubernetes. Are you happy? And apart from that, to use these tools, you need to have a good knowledge on cloud. And we are doing AWS Cloud. AWS is Amazon Web Services. We will learn Amazon Cloud. And another very important thing without which you will not be able to learn all these tools. Can anybody tell me what is that? Cloud, of course, you have to learn. What more? That
Linux.
Linux. Fantastic. Yes. Without Linux, like you cannot survive only with Windows or Mac. You need to step into Linux because these are all Linux world. In any organization that you go, the big organizations, medium organizations, small organizations, whatever size of the organizations, they cannot say, I will not, they have to survive on Linux. So Git comes with the continuous development. GitLab integration. Either Docker and Ansible. Ansible and Puppet is the same thing, so we will learn Ansible. So continuous deployment with Ansible and Docker. For testing, it is Selenium, and monitoring is Nagios. So let us see the same picture with some tools. Developer will put their development into Git. Git will then be, there will be a synchronization between Git, integration between Git and GitLab, and there can be, so GitLab will implement your pipeline, and with that you containerize your application that the developer has given over the Git or GitLab into Docker with the help of Docker technology. And with the Terraform, you will provision your production server or your testing server or your whatever server. And in how many numbers? You will do an automatic provisioning with Terraform. And with Ansible, you will configure the servers or the infrastructure that you have just now provisioned. Okay, so there's a configuration management tool. And for the testing, you can use Selenium. And for monitoring, you will use Nagios. So all these things will help to automate the entire process of delivery. Okay. This is the same thing. I've given a bit of more these things. You will get everything over your in our site. So who is a DevOps engineer? Now the vital and the most important question. We are almost the end of this thing. I will suggest you can go to this. A DevOps engineer is an IT professional who works with software developers, system operators, who works with. He is himself not a software developer, or he is himself not an operations guy or a testing guy. He is an engineer who knows the DevOps tools and work in collaboration with developers, operators, testers. DevOps engineers should have hard as well as soft skills to communicate, because you may know very well the technology of the tools, but you have to communicate very well with your team. That is the soft skill. You must speak up. You must communicate your knowledge. You are a mentor, as if you are a mentor in an organization. You should build up your team. You have many DevOps guys, your developers who does not know anything about Git, anything about uh, Docker. So you are a mentor. You will work with them to share your knowledge with them. You must have a knowledge transfer sessions with them. The more you teach them, the more you transfer your knowledge, the more you will go up the ladder in your organization. You can take it from me, from my experience. So do not hide your knowledge within yourself. You distribute your knowledge within your team. You will be very, very visible to your management. A DevOps engineer will work with the development team staff to tackle the coding and scripting needed to connect elements of code like libraries or software development kits. That way you will come with experience. Hands-on, I have no time to actually go through the hands-on, but these steps, I will give you all these steps. These steps are available in our PPT, which is available in our site. So you can do it yourself. Each and every step is highlighted, what you have to do. And or else, what I can do, I can take the next session, which will be on cloud. Next weekend, we are going to start cloud. We will know an overview of the cloud. I will take half an hour to just demo this Git. What is Git and what it does? Or else you can also try it yourself. It's not at all difficult. You will see that is something which has come to free. You just follow these steps. You will end up doing pushing your repository. That means whatever you have, your source code, as if you are a developer, you have used Git to push it into the GitHub. All the code, you store it over the GitHub. I hope that you have heard about GitHub. GitHub is one of the tools. So that is all, my friends. We have come to the end of the session. I hope I could build up some hunger for you, but I'm not sure. It's a very short time to speculate such statements that whether you were able to learn everything. No, it is not possible. And I'm not having an intention to give you everything over in a short period of time. The intention is to build up your hunger for knowledge. If you want to shift your domain, whatever you are, you may be in operations team, you may be a quality tester, you may be in a accounts department, accounts. You want to come to IT and start with DevOps. And remember one thing, if you are coming from a different domain where it is not IT, can you directly step into development? My humble question. It will be very, very difficult, because there you will find a stiff competition to get a job. You have to be very, very sort of a genius to get a job in development nowadays. Whereas this is one area, DevOps, where you can easily step in with whether you have any programming knowledge or you have no programming knowledge. You still can afford to learn this and implement this knowledge to get a job. Am I clear?
Yes.
So that is, I'm sorry to say, but this is one of the fields where many people can step into. And we encourage those people who have minimum or no IT background. If you have good IT background, then definitely this will be a cakewalk for you. Yes, there are lots of tools and there are lots of things to learn, but if you have a good IT background, you can easily pick it up. Even if you don't have, don't worry. We will take you through that path. So this is all, Mr. Menon. I would like to hand it over to you if you have something more to discuss.
Hi, sir. Actually,
Yes,
currently,
yes.
yeah, actually, currently I'm working as a testing background. So may I know how much it will be difficult to learn in a DevOps means, development side, because I never did any development. So my
Again, I'm saying it is not a development tool. It is not a programming language. And after all, DevOps is not a language or a tool or anything. It is just a, as I told you, it's a methodology. It's a mindset. And there are tools, of course, to implement DevOps in an organization. You need to learn tools. And those tools, to learn those tools, does not need a programming background. You do not need to have any programming skills. You take it from me or from my organization, because we have proven track record of delivering so many of our students into the job area where they are doing fantastic. They didn't have, you can bet on it. We almost have done training with almost 2,000 students up to this point. We have lots of varied backgrounds, and believe me, they are doing very well, those who have got the jobs. There are many people, a few people, who have dropped out from our sessions. It is a hard reality. You start it with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of energy, but 6 weeks, 75 hours, rigorous training with lots of hands-on will make you mad. I'm not scaring you, but if you are willing to take up that challenge, we are there for you to help. Did I answer your question?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes. But again, I'm saying one thing. Nothing is easy. Nothing is free. Nothing is, there is no shortcuts to success. So if you are willing to give 99% perspiration, I can guarantee 1% inspiration from my side. Okay. And another a very important message that I want to convey, because I can see in these tough times, you are the guys who have taken a decision to learn something out of your way. That means you are thinking out of box, right? And that is because you are tough. There is a saying, say, when the going is tough, the tough gets going. Did you understand what it means? When the going is tough, now the times are very tough. There is a lot of recession going on, but these tough times will go away. But during this tough time, when the going is tough, the tough gets going. That means that who are the tough people will succeed. And that is my message. So don't get upset or frustrated, because these are very easy tendencies to acquire. You can easily get, today you are happy, tomorrow you can get frustrated. So don't nurture all those habits. Try, because you are tough guys. If you have taken a decision, stick to it. You will reap the benefits. I'm sure about it. Thank you.
Hello, sir. What are the day-to-day activities of DevOps engineers, sir?
Yeah, day-to-day activity of an DevOps engineer. Can I see, Mahesh? It will be too early to understand that part. So can we take at least another 2 weeks to answer that question?
Yeah, sure, sir. Definitely.
Okay. So let us cover few things. Then only you can find your answer, or we can discuss that after another 2 weekends. But please
Okay.
remind me that question again. I will, at that point of time, it will be better to answer that question.
Yeah. And one more thing, for coming weeks, what tools are going to start, sir? Git or Linux first? Linux is first or Git?
No. We will start with cloud. And I will give, we will not learn about Linux. Linux will be in our main course, because Linux is a very boring subject. We don't want to bore you. We will invite you on a Saturday and give my lectures and try to bore you. I have no intention in doing that. So we have excluded Linux from that. But whatever, all the demos that I'm going to give you, maybe it's on Terraform, it is on Ansible, it is on GitLab, it is on Kubernetes, everything will be on Linux. Are you getting, my friend?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. I need a server, right, to work on. So that server is a Linux server. So let me proceed a bit further, then I will answer your question. So there will be, the next weekend will be AWS Cloud. After that, it will be your, I think it is Docker. No, it is not Docker. It will be starting with Ansible, then Terraform. So these 4 weekends will be, this was the introduction to DevOps. Next weekend will be AWS, then it will be Terraform, then it will be Ansible. So that will complete the first cycle, that is 4 weekends. After that, we will start the next program, which is DevOps Part 2, which will start with Docker, GitLab, and Kubernetes. Kubernetes will be 2 weekends. Clear? And maybe somebody has asked for a live project, that we actually do a capstone project in our, main course. Maybe one more session we can take to demonstrate that live project, that capstone project. Somebody has requested for like something like that. So we can, so you can harness, you can see the power of DevOps. So many tools are working together in a pipeline, automation pipeline. We can do that. Yeah. So, Mr. Menon, I think we can call it a day.
Okay, do we have a class on tomorrow?
No, these are the weekend programs. You see, every Saturday for the coming 4 weeks, and further 4 weeks we will have.
Okay, Saturday only 8:30 to 10:30, right?
8:30 to 10:30. Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay.
8:30 to
fine.
10:30 India time. Now,
Yeah, okay.
in US, it will be morning time. I think it is, what is the time? Let me check. In US, now it is 12:13 p.m. That is in the afternoon in US CST, and the EST is 13:13. That means it is 1:13 p.m. So they are in the afternoon period, and you are in the night. We are in the night. Okay, then.
I want to stop the recording.
Yeah, then we are going to meet again on the next weekend, on Saturday. If you,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, if you like to continue, then we will meet again. I think you will like. Is that fine?
Yeah, yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Devasis.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was a very good one. This is Abi here. I just turning to see what's going on. That was actually a very good one. If anyone is still here, I will employ that they just join up. I'm already on the program, and it's going very smoothly. So.
Okay. Thank you, Luis.
I will recommend that to every one of you who wants to, if you really want to, expand your career in IT.
Correct.
Yeah, I want to include to what he just said. Actually, that was my friend I just spoke now. So he was the one that introduced me to this. And to be honest with you, with the knowledge, with the, starting from this point is a very interesting program. And, I would like to continue and exceed from here to another real program, which is, I think, after we finish this, the one that is coming, like we have to pay and other stuff.
Yeah, you are talking about the main course, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is a rigorous course, and we are actually give a lot more things. Unless and until somebody has an experience, you will not understand what are the things that we go through in that journey. Lots of things we learn. And we have to, because it's a competitive market. We cannot restrict ourselves to only few of the things. We have to go into deeper aspects of the tools. And the documents that we have, even a layman can follow it. If you just go through the documents step by step, you can end up doing some magical things. So that's the reason. And these documents, these recordings are all available with you. You can download them and keep it with you.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So I will stop the recording, my friends. We will meet again on next weekend.
And we do have one more thing. Tomorrow, another session for AI. Those are highly motivated and at least want to know what is going behind of the chat GPT, how the chat GPT created. If you can right now check in every Instagram or any social media that new AI is popping up. This how those AI and how you can create your own AI using chat GPT. So we'll have like a 4-week session for that. And every Sunday this time, same time like today. So yeah,
Yeah,
sure
you send
enough.
in the link. Send in the link and we'll join.
Okay, so we'll share the link in the group and the WhatsApp group, and it is also published in our website. You can register over there. We'll send you can ping in our WhatsApp. There is a mad bot is there. Sometime it's it will provide you the link as well. And even if you are in our WhatsApp group, you will have the notification. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful weekend.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.